Hello and welcome to Sports by Compian. My name, of course, is Stephen Compian, joined here by my ever-present co-host, Mr. Dan Gill, in the house. Wisconsin hat present. Dan Gill present. It's a good day. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Ate a little too much during the holiday, but that's what the gym's for.
Gotta enjoy it. Gotta enjoy the holidays. Happy holiday season to everyone. We hope you guys had a great time and just really enjoyed everything and enjoyed all the football. Because man, was it a weekend of football, huh, Dan? All
Between
kinds of games taking place.
between college and pros, we were all set all day.
Pretty much, yeah. Those just games literally all day, most of the weekend. It was pretty cool. It started off with the Saints Rams. Rams take care of business. One of the few picks I got right this week, Dan. It was kind of rough out there. But overall, Rams looked like they're in control most of the game. The Saints kind of got back into it towards the end of it. The Rams could have actually put them in a bigger hole and sort of messed up a couple opportunities to do that. Overall, they get the win. They're looking scary as heck going into this last little bit of the playoff chase.
Yeah, like we were saying last week, they're one of the teams that's getting hot at the right time. Um, I, I agree with you. They definitely had a shot being up 27-7 at one point to end up with a 30-22 score. You would kind of have to see them kind of shut the door on that a little bit better, but still, Stafford's looking well. Williams looking phenomenal again.
Puka
So
Nakua.
but yeah, Puka, like they have like their key pieces kind of carrying them down the stretch here. So they're kind of in control of their own destiny at this point. When it
Absolutely.
comes to what's left, they do have a hurdle their last week of the season with the 49ers, but do have a favorable opponent in the Giants next week.
Nice. I agree. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, the Saints in the tough position, man. They got to win next week, or they are out of the playoff hunt. And they're going to Tampa, I believe. So good luck with that, Saints. Actually, no. Actually, I wish you terrible, terrible luck with that. Anyway,
Yeah, I was about to
Bengals
say.
fall to the Steelers. Big rally game for the Steelers. Big rally game from George Pickens. I like to think I personally motivated him, Dan, but overall, huge game out of him. That's how you respond to the critics. Mason Rudolph, that's how you respond. It's the year of the backups. We shouldn't have been surprised. Corey did kind of call this somehow. Jake Browning with a rough game. Steelers defense really turned it on there. Frankie's bet is back on track, baby.
One win to go.
Let's go.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming. With their QB carousel there in Pittsburgh, I didn't really hold a lot of hope in what Mason Rudolph could do. Their defense, you always got to watch out for them. It's going to keep them in every game, but just the way the Bengals have been putting things together the last couple of weeks, I felt like they've kind of really had progressed well enough to get around the Steelers.
Agreed. Yeah, so the Bengals are going to have to rally here because that NFC North race is going to get really tight. Everyone's 8-7 over there. Real interesting stuff headed into these last couple games. Bills take care of business against the Chargers, but I think it was a lot closer than a lot of people thought it was going to be. Stick rallies, interim head coach rallies, not too surprising there. But yeah, Josh Allen and the boys do get it done in the end. A couple of missed opportunities as well, to really put this away. But overall, they're done. They win another game, and the Bills are hot as heck.
Yeah, but my thing is they even aside from I would say the Cowboys game because they were just out early and took care of business there. Um, they don't really put anybody away. Like you said, this
Yeah,
game was a lot closer than expected. They let the Chiefs back into that game that they ultimately ended up winning over them.
it's fair.
But they kind of can get off slow, and even when they get off hot, like it's just kind of like now what. So like you said, they are in a favorable spot at this point in the playoff race, holding one of the wild card spots. But that being said,
Oh man,
we count them out all the time, and they find a way to get in. But Playoffs are a different game. Sure, Josh Allen has experience of playing in the playoffs through a tough slate of teams.
Yeah.
To try to advance in this one. So, they have a chance to kind of make a statement over the next 2 weeks. They play the Patriots next week. Then they play the Dolphins, which that's a huge game against the Dolphins. That if they want to build any momentum into the playoffs, like they got to win that one, and kind of go from there. But yeah, the way with how bad the Chargers looked against the
That's a fair
Raiders,
point.
I was expecting a similar output there.
Either way, it's an interesting situation there with the Chargers. Just to interrupt real quick on our NFL quest, tracking this game, North Texas versus Rice for the First Responders Bowl. That game's been pretty interesting. North Texas probably should already be up a lot more than they are in this game. They were up 21-7 quick, and then they had back-to-back defensive penalties to put Rice into position to go ahead and bring it to 14-21. Then, Dan, Rice kicks it out of bounds on the kickoff so they could get the ball at the 35. North Texas coach is like, nah, re-kick that shit. We're returning it. Does not return it. Does not barely got to like the 20, and then or not even the 20, and then 3 and out. Get the ball right back to Rice. They score again. Now Texas does get it, and it's a field goal before half, and now they came out hot with the drive, scored, and then a costly second pick six for the Rice quarterback. North Texas is rolling right now in the battle for Texas, as they're putting it. They're taking back Texas.
I don't know the time I've ever seen a coach decline.
Me neither.
A kick out of bounds on a
Never
kickoff.
seen it. Never seen it. I think the announcers were also pretty amazed. But one thing I did want to bring up, factoid of this game, is JT Daniels. Some people may remember him from his days there in Georgia. Bounced around college football in general. They're just showing his resume. He is with Rice now, has officially retired because he's got way too many concussions, but was having a phenomenal year for them before he did. But he's over there apparently starting his coaching career now. So shout out JT Daniels. Anyway, Dan, let's get back to the NFL. We'll leave North Texas to the beating they're putting on Rice right now. Colts, Falcons, did not see this game coming. Not happy about the result. Bad for me on many different accounts. But overall, the Colts seem like they just got outmatched and outmanned. Taylor Heineke leads the boys to victory. That's how the Falcons have been all year, though. Impossible to predict what the heck's going to happen, who we're going to get week to week. Nobody knows.
Yeah, but Taylor Heineke, we saw him do well in Washington in the last couple of years, but I mean the way Indy play, they have their pieces back together. I was really expecting Indy to pull this one out, take care of business, help their playoff chances. But instead they just, couldn't get it together. All in all, they didn't turn the ball over once. So that's good in the grand scheme of things. It's not that was what was killing their drives. But they've been putting together things. They played well against Pittsburgh, and who knows what we're going to get next week. They play the Raiders next week and against Houston. So I don't think this gap for them for the remainder of the season is going to be any easier. And I believe that they're holding on to the last wild card spot in the AFC. So, this was a very tough loss for them in terms of what that means. But like I agree. We never know what we're getting out of the Falcons. They, just when they kind of seem to have rolled over and put themselves to bed, they just kind of come out of nowhere. Or a game that you'd think that they were going to take care of business, they don't. They're just so hard to read. And Arthur Smith is probably barely keeping his job by how their season's going.
For some reason, I think that owner already said he's back next year. So who knows, man? I'm here for it. By all means, bring the man back. Anyway, we have some other games to get to, such as the Packers taking care of business against the Panthers. This got a lot closer than I imagined you would have liked, and other Packers fans in general would have liked. Joe Barry does his thing and keeps it an interesting game. Crazy pass by Bryce Young on the sidelines there, finds his boy Was it Minko? No, it was DJ Clark who had himself a day, like the
Yeah, he
best day
did.
he's had over there with Carolina.
I think
But
Bryce Young had a career high too.
oh yeah, doesn't surprise me. Yeah, big day for the Carolina offense. Unfortunately, the Carolina defense has been pretty decent normally, but they struggled against Love. He was finding a lot of options.
Yeah, they're early in the fourth quarter. They went up 30-16, and I kind of felt good. I felt like we were in a good spot, and then we give up 2 touchdowns late in the fourth quarter to bring them back to a tie game, and Green Bay won on a field goal with 19 seconds left. But even with 19 seconds left, they were moving down the field with no timeouts. And I mean, if they had an extra 5 seconds on that clock, they could have spiked it and probably sent it to overtime. Again, the defense is just playing too far off their man, and they were just allowing like 10, 15-yard plays at a time. And, again, it's teams that we should be taking care of. Not to really speak ill of Carolina, but let's be honest, if you go into this game at 2-12, we should be, readily, taking care of them. But
yeah,
it's we can't put a team away. And
yeah.
I think we can do it offensively. You put up 33 points in a game, like you should be winning.
Hell of a catch by Romeo Dobbs to put them into field goal range to win that game, but the 2.
Yeah, but again, there's something to be said. Again, another week of why is Joe Barry still here? And then apparently I have not had the chance to listen to the press conference yet. But somehow I read on a page that somehow LaFleur was almost blaming the offense for why the game was so close. So I don't know what's going on. I gotta listen to the post game interview. Just haven't had the time at the holidays, but yeah, we should have. There's no reason we should have won by 3.
Tight game indeed. I don't know if the Packers were expecting that, but they probably should have. The Panthers did just win last week, so they're out. Excuse me.
It's that's why you play the game, but Green Bay's at a point that they have to win their last 2. It's the Vikings and Bears, and then hope for a little bit of magic outside of that to get into the playoffs at this point.
Agreed. Well, the Browns took care of business against the Texans. Amari Cooper almost single-handedly. I mean, I lost the game regardless. I probably was going to have a tough day out of some of my fantasy players. But, dude, Amari Cooper put up 50 points on me. 50, Daniel. I think he set the Cleveland Browns all-time receiving record for a game.
Yeah, 265 yards.
Dude, what a day. Holy cow. Him and Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go to him all day. Screw it. And it worked
Flacco
out.
I think Flacco had almost 370 yards passing and 3 touchdowns.
Crazy.
Granted, he did have 2 picks again.
Again, yeah, he does. He's slinging it, man. He's slinging it. Sometimes it's going to end up in the other hand.
But I mean, look, he's in what, 4 games, he has over 1,300 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, 7 picks.
It's just crazy. Like, it's funny watching these cornerbacks, the cycle of life they go through. Like that corner who was on him, Stingray, something like that. It's a rookie they got over there, 28, 22, something like that. Cool dreads on the kid. One of these weeks, forget which game, maybe Denver, I forget, but he had 2 interceptions and like a big day, had gotten burned early today, but got two interceptions, huge game. And then he goes into this game and has to try to cover Amari Cooper. And oh my God, Amari Cooper made that guy look like a rookie. Rough day for him at the office for sure. And like he was semi-close, you could just see the frustration. Like, dude, that's just so rough trying to cover someone who's that hot. And dude, Amari Cooper, everyone just writes off this guy. Everyone's just traded him. The Raiders have traded him. The Cowboys have traded him, and he just keeps on producing.
They all thought it was a death sentence for his career to go to Cleveland, but
yep.
I think it's been going well for him.
It really has. It really has been going really well for him, indeed. So yeah, shout out to Amari Cooper. Absolutely destroyed the Texans. Lions are officially in the playoffs for the first time in 30 years, Dan.
No, winning the division.
Winning the division 30 years. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. First time in 30 years they've won it. I am only 1 year older than that, so that's kind of crazy, dude. These guys finally pulled it off. Shout out to the Lions. Shout out to their loyal fans. Almeza come on here and talked about Barry Sanders. So shout out Omeza. Yeah, huge for
Dude,
the Lions fans. It got
did you?
close. It got a lot closer than they would have expected. If TJ Hawkinson doesn't go down in this game, who knows? Might have been a little bit
Yeah,
different. And also, gotta talk about that catch from Jefferson. Might be the best catch of the year. The guy, like, he's just so damn good. Like,
like
what is going on? How is he
how
so
he came
good?
down with that is beyond
It's
me.
insane. It's crazy.
And I
He's
mean,
too damn good.
It's crazy to think about. Like Mullins threw 4 picks.
Yeah.
They had a legitimate chance to win this game, but he threw 4 picks.
He also threw over 400 yards, didn't he?
He did. He threw over 400
He
and
was
2
just
touchdowns.
slinging it, Mullins, dude.
Look, he took the Jameis Winston approach. He's putting it down there,
Yeah.
and someone's catching it.
Absolutely. It's a good the James Winston approch. It's not always effective for winning, but it is fun to watch. Makes for
But yeah,
entertaining games.
I think it'll be interesting to see, kind of what Detroit does over these last couple weeks. Big game on Saturday night against the Cowboys. I think that'll
That's
be
a
a real
huge game.
test for them. And then they close out the season again, and they play the Vikings again at home. So, tough bruisers over the next couple weeks, but
At least
good for
you're in.
them. Dan Campbell was on the team that went winless, so I'm sure for him,
Yeah, that's
as a
huge.
play, he was a player on that team to kind of see the turnaround and be a part of the turnaround.
That's cool.
Must feel great, and it'll be the first playoff game in Ford Field history. Home game.
Love it. Well, in another game, the Jets went ahead and took care of business against the Commanders, much to my dismay. I was terrible in my picks this week, Dan. But the Commanders almost came back in this one to make it. Sam Howell gets benched again in favor of Brissett. It's rough because he was having such a good year, and then man, these last couple of weeks have been rough, and Ron Rivera's letting him know it's not cool, or whoever's in charge over there.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't get rid of Howell, I think he's good. He just needs a lot of work.
Yeah,
And I think Bieniemy's the guy to do it with him. He's worked with Mahomes, with some good quarterbacks. So
you don't get rid of Howell after the flashes he showed this year.
No, not at all. But Trevor Siemian balled out a little bit, or over 200 yards and a touchdown. But the Jets are trying to look like they have some sort of semblance of being together, with the hope that Rodgers is coming back next year. Because at this point, they really need to take a good inventory of who they have, what they have.
Yeah.
Figure out what pieces they need to go get, because I don't want to say that they wouldn't be winning with Rodgers, because Rodgers is Rodgers, but
that's what a lot of people are saying.
In theory, though, to some degree, if you have all these quality pieces in that you brought in for Rodgers, they should be better off than they are.
Agreed.
So, we saw it when Brady went down in New England. They put Matt Castle in, and he led him to a wild card game. Because they had strong pieces around him. So I think they're going to need to spend well in the offseason, but take a real good evaluation to try to make it contending. Because Dolphins are a tough team, Bills are a tough team. So
you need
it's
some
just
receivers besides Garrett Wilson, and you need a better tight end than Conklin. Like, I like Conklin, but he's not blowing up the stats.
No, and Randall Cobb is not really going to do anything for them.
No, or Allen Lazard. Let's be honest.
No, not at all. I saw rumors again this weekend that the Jets are allegedly going to pursue Adams this offseason from the Raiders.
Is he a free agent?
No, they would have to trade for him.
Okay.
But again,
he might be down to get out of Oakland. I don't know if it's the homecoming he was expecting.
No, not at all. But when they got his boy Derek Carr, it kind of, I feel like it created a small window left for him. So
yeah, we'll see. That will be interesting. That's exactly what Aaron Rodgers needs over there, and that'd be nasty. Garrett Wilson and Devonta Adams on the same team. Seahawks pull off a tight one against the Titans, man. The Titans were ahead of this one for most of the day. I think Derek Henry threw a touchdown pass, didn't he? Or somebody ridiculous did, but big, good trick plays. The Titans, like I said, were in front of this for most of the day, but the Seahawks rallied, man. They had the exact same score as last week. Pete Carroll got these guys, never give it up, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
That was a
their,
hell of a catch by their tight end to put them ahead. Dude just went up and like took it. That was beautiful.
It was the wide receiver for Tennessee that threw the touchdown to Derrick
okay.
Henry.
Okay.
But yeah, no, this was a must-win for Seattle, coming off a big win against the Eagles.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep their season alive. Tennessee at this point, really, I don't want to. They don't have anything to play for. They can just play spoilers, but they're about to go through a rebuild. So I don't know how much of what they're going to be over these next couple of weeks. They could be plugging in playing guys to figure out what might work better for them next year. But still, all in all, big win for Seattle, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive at this point.
Absolutely. Well, moving on from the Seahawks and their big win. Oh, look at this! The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's nice. So yeah, we hosted the Jacksonville Jaguars, and man, Bucks got out to an early lead in this game and just held on to it. Pretty much just rolled through the whole game. Baker was on fire, doing some great decision making in general. Yeah, the Jaguars just looked a little out of sorts, just weren't quite ready, especially on defense. Eventually, the Bucks sort of let up the gas, and they did kind of have some late touchdowns. What's it called? Riley? No, not Riley. Fucking. You know what I'm talking about? Ridley, dude. Ridley went off. Like he was kind of like they were sort of keeping him contained early, and then as soon as Trevor Lawrence got injured and TJ Beathard came in, they seemed to find a little bit more stability there. Nothing against Lawrence. I'm a big fan of Lawrence, but he seemed he's banged up. I don't know if he's 100% right now.
Oh, I mean that's what I was gonna mention. I was like, we saw him get banged up in the Ravens game.
He's gotten banged up the last 3 weeks in a row with different.
Yeah, the game with the Browns. Yeah, so I think I was surprised that he even played. I wasn't really expecting him to play.
Yeah.
That's why I flipped mine to Tampa because I didn't think that he was going to be.
Oh, you did? I was hoping to get you on that one.
Love you, bud. But that being said, I think at this point, they play the Panthers next week and against the Titans. The unfortunate part is they are still fighting for the division lead. So it's for Trevor Lawrence, it's hard for him to be like, I need to sit out. I need to do whatever because it's a 3-way tie for first. The only team that's not in it is Tennessee. But where are they better off that he gets them in the playoffs and then he's out because he got banged up the last 2 weeks getting him into the playoffs. So, I think
who knows what he's gonna do.
I think they need to look into it. I think with it being the Panthers next week, maybe you roll the dice and you sit him for Beathard and hope that Beathard can take care of business against Carolina.
Yeah, either way, we should talk about the team that actually matters in this matchup, which is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, dude, Mike Evans, beautiful fucking touchdown catch. It was just so awesome, that move he put on the corner in the end zone there. Beautiful catch out of him. The defense was just balling out. Winfield was all over the field. And Devin White, who a lot of people, myself included, have been talking plenty of shit about this season. He's had a rough go of it, a little bit up and down, way more down than up. But, man, he came out firing this week. Obviously, I think he's heard the media coming after him. He's the type of guy who gets motivated by that, it appears, because he had a hell of a game. Interception, would have had a sack, Dan. And that leads me to a very important point that I wanted to make here on Sports by Compian. We tried to do a live reaction. Didn't quite work, so we immediately hopped off, and here we are now covering this. So earlier when I mentioned the Bucks got up early, what I did mention was that we were 10-0, and I think the 50, and we have a play that goes for an incompletion on third down. Was about to be a punt. It was disappointing, but then pass interference, roughing the passer call, and I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. They show the play, and man, this safety hit Baker like a snap of a finger after he let it go. Didn't like the call. It wasn't on his helmet or anything like that. I'm like, all right, well, that's pretty lame. Well, whatever. So we move on. Later on in the game, dude, Devin White, as I mentioned, having a hell of a game. Trevor Lawrence is out. He comes on a blitz, third down, sacks C.J. Beathard, throws him into the ground. Apparently, Daniel, that is not allowed anymore in the NFL. Flagged for roughing the passer after a sack. They replayed it. He did not hit him in his helmet. It was not unsafe in any way other than that he threw him into the ground afterwards because it's, what you do in football, Daniel. And he was called for roughing the passer. Now, I heard there was another egregious one that took place with Michael Parsons as well. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, we've seen that, Clay Matthews was the prime guy of getting flagged for roughing the passer on sacks that he got when they first started cracking down on that. But, because, it's a tough one. There was one in the Dallas game where the Prescott got sacked and, the lineman goes to tackle him. But, if you're both standing up and you wrap up, in this area and tip him over, the lineman released his hands to try to, show that he's not holding on to him and trying to get his body weight off him so he didn't get flagged. And he got flagged because he still got flagged because they said he put his body weight on him. But, how is the lineman supposed to get away? Well, also the funny part was the commentators pointed out that he tried to get away and Dak held the back of the lineman's helmet to keep the guy on top of him so he couldn't get away. And it's that's kind of cheeky.
Well, it gets to my point that I was about to make here, Dan.
But you're gonna these players are gonna get defensive players are gonna get hurt trying to avoid hurting the quarterback.
It's so unsafe.
And that, we saw that game last year with Indian and the Giants where Minshew went to go get sacked, and the guy was going to bring him down, but he didn't know how to do it without getting flagged. So he kind of stopped, and then Minshew stepped up and threw the ball. Luckily, it was an incomplete pass, but it was kind of the defender felt like he was going to get flagged if he pulled him to the ground.
They don't know what to do anymore, and it's so unsafe for them too. Nobody's talking about how unsafe it is. Carlton Davis took a nasty tackle against ETN in this game and had to go out with a shoulder injury. And when it happened, it looked nasty. But no one's out here we need to change tackling to defend corners. And this is getting to my point. We're getting to the point in the NFL now, and they've been at this for a couple years now, just ruining defense. But they're really at the point where they're creating elitism. And we're living in a world where we're all supposed to be equality, right? And that's what we're pushing now. And then here we are at the biggest sport, and we're just pushing elitism to the max. We're basically saying, we don't give a shit about your health, your safety. We only care about this guy because he's making millions of dollars and you're not. So it doesn't matter what happens to you, only what happens to this guy. Dude, they're going to push to be flag football at this point. And that's insane. Nobody's going to watch it, man. We're not going to watch it. The people who really care about football are not going to watch it. Good luck getting the Taylor Swift fans to be your new fucking supporting cast. Because let me tell you, my niece, big Taylor Swift fan. I bet if I asked her right now, she has not seen a single NFL game. Just my guess. And I probably am correct. Huge Taylor Swift fan. Doesn't give a fuck that her husband is playing football now, or boyfriend. Good luck, NFL. Because this is insane, Dan. If we want this, we'll go watch the NBA. We'll go watch LeBron James throw himself around on the court like a little baby. That's what you want, guys. The thing that separates the NFL from the NBA and all the other trash sports is tackling, is beautiful things like a sack. It's a guy who, has been on the practice squad all year, but all the guys in front of him get hurt. Now he's finds himself on the field. This is his opportunity to earn a living for himself, for his family, to better his future. He beats that tackle, flies around there, nails Patrick Mahomes, and puts him on his ass. That's football, Dan. That's football right there. Just because that guy makes millions and millions of dollars, it doesn't mean you can't hit him. It doesn't mean that. This guy's making hundreds of thousands. He still gets to hit the $1 million guy. Because that's football. You idiots are going to ruin the sport. You're ruining what makes football football, dude. This is a team sport. This is not some bullshit NBA superstars running around doing their thing. No. guys coming up. Guys working their ass off to get that opportunity, man. Fucking bullshit, NFL. Fucking bullshit, Roger Goodell. Get your shit together. Holy fuck, guys. You're going to ruin the fucking sport. All right.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. There are a handful of ones that get called. There's one that I was watching. It was Saturday or Sunday, but the guy hit him a little around the knees, the quarterback around him. In the ground and
You're cutting in and out there, Dan.
the guy's like, the lineman was getting up all around to wrap her flagged. They don't, but easy way to like.
Dude, I can't hear you at all. I don't know if maybe the audience can, but it's like cutting in and out a lot. Sorry. Yeah, I can hear you now. Oh, he's coming back. All right. Well, while Daniel comes back to us, yeah, that's how I feel about that situation, guys. Not happy at all about it. They need to figure this out. It's scary, dude. They're gonna ruin it. Anyway, moving on to the Arizona Cardinals against Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears pulling off a bunch of wins here in a row now. You know, they're looking pretty sharp. Justin Fields had a nice touchdown in this game, ran around the corner, made it look easy. Kyle Murray's still doing his thing too, with not a lot of options there to really throw the ball to. Is Hollywood Brown even on the field? No, as usual, he appears to be injured. So anyway, yeah, we got our boy Kyle Murray out there just doing the Lord's work without even really any type of backup. So it's pretty impressive. Good for Kyle Murray. Two quarterbacks who are kind of younger, sort of figuring their ways out, but they're doing fine work. You know, what's interesting is Cole Kmet's having himself a season, 107 yards in this game, but he's starting to emerge as a pretty good tight end down there in Chicago, over there in Chicago, I mean. Khalil Herbert, over 100 yards rushing. How about that? Got himself a touchdown, too, to match it. Justin Fields almost had 100 yards rushing on way less attempts. Also, that touchdown we mentioned earlier. Bears are starting to fire on all cylinders. Their defense is looking good. I mean, we did mention the Cardinals will have a lot of options to throw the ball too, but they did kind of shut down. I mean, they should have ran the ball more with Connor. It looks like they had 5 rushes for 67 yards. It's quite a bit. Oh, hey, Dan, you're back. How you doing?
Good.
Great. So, yeah, what do you think about these Bears cleaning up the Arizona Cardinals?
You know, Justin Fields is just trying to save his job at this point.
Yeah.
You know, their defense,
doing a fine job of it, though.
We always knew their defense has played pretty well. They have the pieces to do it, but it's really that offensive line that's been giving them problems all year, and it really makes it tough for their, Justin Fields back there to try to put anything together because, when he's constantly snapping the ball and having to almost immediately run, he can't sit back there and let the play actually develop. Same with his running backs can't, get through the line for anything either. So, maybe they find a couple of plays at work, whether he's playing out of the gun a little more. So he's already back there and has that extra time. But, yeah, the Cardinals, like you said, they don't have a lot of pieces going on with them either. And they're just, trying to get through the rest of this year. So this is a game that I was expecting the Bears to win.
Yeah.
All things considered.
Absolutely. But yeah, Colin Murray's not doing bad either over there with like literally nobody to throw the ball to. Pretty impressive. So he continues to do Colin Murray stuff. Good for him.
You think they'll trade him out if they can get Williams?
I think that'd be extremely unwise of them. But I guess we'll see. Cowboys, Dolphins. I didn't really catch this game because I was watching the Buccaneers game while it was going down. But disappointing, man. If you're the Cowboys fans, you guys just went from being Super Bowl contenders 2 weeks ago to now you've dropped 2 games in a row to actual good teams. Everyone's talking piles of shit about your team. Dak Prescott seems to Tony Pollard, man, the last 2 games. Like, come on, dude. 5 points in the playoffs, Dan. 5 points. Did he not know it was the playoffs?
Yeah, it's been the season-long story of why can't the Cowboys beat winning record teams? Sure, they beat the Eagles, but
That's division.
it's division. But it's a tough spot for them because with that win over the Eagles a couple weeks ago, that put them in the division lead, and they really had a chance to take the Bills out, take the Dolphins out, kind of control their destiny to hold the division lead and win the division. Now the Eagles have it back, and like we said, they have a tough matchup next week against the Lions. That's not going to do them any favors, especially with the schedule that the Eagles have, where they finish the season against the Cardinals and Giants again. So, I think they might have squandered away their chance of winning the division.
It would appear so. But either way, Cowboys drop another one. Dolphins looking good, though. They are starting to put it together. 2 wins in a row now. And they kind of were guilty of a similar thing of not being able to beat good teams. So this is a big win for them.
Yeah, I think Tyreek Hill is considered healthy again, so that's a key piece for them
absolutely.
to get back.
He dropped a touchdown in that game. He was wide open and just dropped it wide open down the side of the field. Anyway, a game we probably didn't expect. New England takes care of business against the Denver Broncos, 26-23. Our boy over at Good Sports, he doesn't know he's our boy, but either way, he's probably going to be getting pretty excited about this one because the Broncos dropping big. This is a big drop for them. 2 weeks in a row now. They've not 2 weeks in a row. They beat Houston, but the week before that they lost again. They probably should have won. Faltering a little bit down the stretch here, especially with Kansas City looking how they do. I mean, you guys can win the division. You just win simple games like this. And then New England, you got Bill Belichick just fighting for his job, his life. You're crazy if you fire Bill Belichick, dude.
He's gone. I'm sorry. He's gone.
Probably, but it's crazy.
Yeah. They did a good job even though they got down, late in the third quarter. They were down 23-7. They did end up managing to tie it late in the fourth quarter. So, good on them for battling back and not giving up. They just lost on a last-second field goal. So not much you're going to be able to do there, but, didn't see this coming, especially with how hot they've been. But, it's Bill Belichick doing Bill Belichick things, I guess.
Yeah. No, agreed. That is definitely some Bill Belichick shit he's been pulling off these last couple weeks. Just fucking up everybody's season. You'll love to see it, honestly. Raiders get done a big win against the Kansas City Chiefs. Watching this game, the Raiders were up early, much like they were the first time they played the Chiefs. And so I kind of was like, I don't know, can they pull this off? But man, the Raiders defense was just all over Mahomes, pressure all day. None of his no-name receivers could get open, other than Justin Watson. Buccaneers legend, let's go, baby. Big game out of Justin Watson. Travis Kelce was extremely frustrated. I think he had some pretty low numbers overall. The Chiefs in general they just as who was saying it? Was it maybe one of the Raiders players was like, dude, they just look tired and we're here to take advantage of it. And that's what Tony Romo was saying. They played a lot of football. So it's not unrealistic to think it's kind of a bit of a tired team right now, maybe. Who knows? Because man, 3 in a row, Dan. We haven't seen this out of Mahomes in a while. Ever, actually. So this is interesting. But Raiders, man, if Aiden O'Connell could have just done a couple more things with the ball, this game would have been much more of a blowout. It got way more close than it probably should have been.
I don't think they've lost 3 in a row. I think they beat the Patriots last week.
No, dude. They didn't play the Patriots. They didn't play the Patriots last week.
Yeah, they did.
The Patriots played the Steelers last week.
No, they played 12-17.
Incorrect, sir.
The Patriots played the Steelers on December 7th.
All right, I'm going to add this to the screen here, and we're going to go through this now, Dan, just to show.
Let's go to last week.
So here's week 16. Week 15 was. Can you not? Thank you. Okay, so yeah, you're right. The Steelers didn't play them. They played. Oh yeah, you're right. They did beat the Patriots last week. Okay, all right, I was wrong on that. So I thought it was 3 weeks.
They've lost 3 of their 4 last games now.
All right. Well, you beat the Patriots then. Terrific, guys.
But I forgot the other part that I was going to say.
That you love to see the Chiefs losing this much?
I mean, I do.
Who doesn't? It's great.
Uh,
Especially in the year where they're making this whole big shebang about Taylor Swift. I just love to see it.
So the one thing I do love though is they kept pointing out during the game that pretty much once the Raiders went up, they pretty much didn't have Aiden O'Connell throw the ball ever again, and all they would do is pretty much run the ball.
Well, he had 10 incompletions in a row. It was like a Raiders record.
Oh, I know.
I don't know if he's bad, but like he has Devontae Adams and like he has receivers to throw it to. So I don't know, man.
Clock management though.
Yeah, they did get the ball back to the Chiefs so much. It was crazy. This game, the Giants and the Eagles got pretty close. You know, Tyrod Taylor led the boys to a pretty good. Did Tommy Cutlets go out with an injury in this one?
Yeah, they just benched him at halftime.
Ouch. Oh no, Tommy. Started to crash back down to earth. Poor bastard.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just really blown coverage on that play late in the fourth quarter, where the Slayton got that 69-yard touchdown.
Yeah, he just burnt that.
They just left him out over top and
just burnt the hell out of that dude. It was like, why are you leaving the white safety to guard this dude? What?
And then like that was an unfortunate pick six that they got to.
Yeah. So really, they shouldn't have been in this game, is what you're saying?
No, I mean, aside from those two plays, like the Eagles really had him in check. Dory Jackson was funny. Almost picked him off like 2 plays prior to that, and then he brings the next one back to the house. So it was, he was just waiting for them to do it again. But all things considered, the Eagles were in control.
And, yeah, they were.
I wouldn't expect the Giants to do much in 2 weeks when they play each other again.
We'll see. And Ravens 49ers. This game was a bit of a disappointment, Dan. I was kind of expecting it to be a pretty. I mean, I guess it wasn't a disappointment. It was close all the way up until the third quarter where the Ravens were just put it on. 4 interceptions from your boy Brock Purdy. I guess it's safe to say his MVP campaign is over as well. Yeah. A lot of these people are just dropping the ball in this MVP race, man. It is going to probably be Lamar Jackson because he's like the only one who's still looking decent.
Yeah. The whole first half looked great, between the two, nice close game. But then, the San Francisco offense just couldn't get anything together. The Ravens were flying around the field.
Defense. Oh, my God.
Swarming into the ball. So, that third quarter pretty much put it to rest for them. And, that was that. Big game next week for the Ravens with the Dolphins. I believe if they win, they clinch the number 1 seed. I'm correct. But I don't see the Dolphins doing much in that game either.
Should be interesting, but hey, little known factoid that Christian McCaffrey's little brother is on this Rice team. Apparently, he's their best receiver.
Yeah.
So he might be coming out. That's interesting. But yeah, dude, I don't know what's going on. The San Francisco, obviously, I thought they were the best team in the NFL, so this is quite a disappointment to see. Maybe the Ravens are. Who knows, man? This playoff race is going to be wild. Because, you catch the 49ers at a bad time, maybe. Brock Purdy has a little more time to think about this. Some of those interceptions weren't totally his fault. It's just they were all over him, dude. The pressure was relentless all night. They were just coming after him.
Now,
that pick he had in the red zone early in the game, man, that player 14, he's having himself a year, dude. He just read that so beautifully. Yeah. It was a really tight window Brock was trying to fit it through. But, man, that was just so beautiful. He just read that all the way and just perfectly fixed it.
Now, the key part here is with them losing, the Eagles winning, and the Lions winning, there's now a 3-way tie for the number 1 seed. The 49ers do hold the tiebreaker over everybody, though, because they did beat the Eagles this year, and did they play the Lions? I forget. But they do have the tiebreaker over the Eagles, so they still have the number 1 seed. But if something else falters on anybody's side, For all we know, the Lions could sneak in at that number 1 seed and get that first round bye.
Interception, Rice. This game's over. Well, they're early in the fourth quarter, but they're down 17. Not looking good. No, agreed. That race is just going to get really wild over the next couple of weeks, Dan. I'm really looking forward to seeing some really good football. We got an interesting pick'em coming up. It's going to be some hard games to pick. Tune in for that, people. Make sure you like and subscribe to our content because we are constantly pumping it out. We are just, one of those shows that you could literally listen to just about every day. We'll have something for you to listen to. Isn't that right, Daniel?
We try.
So as we mentioned, North Texas is probably going to go ahead and win this game. They just got another interception against Rice early in the fourth quarter, but you're down 17 and you just get the ball away again. Not great. We got one more game tonight. Kansas takes on UNLV. Anyway, I've talked about this game probably with a couple different people at this point, so no need to get into it yet again. But I did want to point out Minnesota pulls off a win against Bowling Green. I think that was one of my picks on Saturday. I could be wrong. But PJ Flecker's got the boys rowing in the right direction. You know what I'm saying, Dan?
Yeah.
Big game out of their freshman running back, who's apparently been kind of banged up throughout the year, but was back in this one, dude. The dude had like 30 carries for 200 and something yards and a touchdown. Huge game out of him. They basically just could not stop him. And they ultimately won this game. Bowling Green did bring it back, though. They made it close, but just not quite enough to get past the Minnesota Golden Beavers, I want to say. Gophers, the Golden Gophers. Anyway, yeah, so that pretty much wraps up our sports by Compian. We did have a bunch of the Saturday games. Cedric was wrong. Illinois did not find a way to lose that game. So he just kind of hates NIU. I think something to do with that, maybe cutting him from their football team at some point, Daniel. So that could be why. But anyway, Duke also pulled off a win against Troy. He was right about that one. Wrong about James Madison. They were supposed to roll over Air Force instead.
I mean, they've looked so good all year, though.
I kind of said that, too. I was like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, no, they're going to roll over them. But I think what happened was a lot of the commentators were kind of saying, basically, a lot of the James Madison coaches failed or something. They went off to go get jobs elsewhere.
Yeah, he left. Yeah. Which?
Was it the main coach or was it
the head coach?
No, the head coach left. Oh, dude. And he was just on Pat McAfee, like really hyping up the team. Jeez.
So you had your rant earlier. Here's mine, I guess. To me, it makes no sense how these coaches are allowed to leave during bowl season.
That's crazy.
Like to me, that's like if, John Harbaugh's like, hey,
Super Bowl.
Someone else, offer me more money. I'm not going to be with the team in the playoffs. Like,
well, it's crazy.
Like to me, it's still a part of your season. So I don't get how they're allowed to contact these coaches to have these discussions during this time period. Like it should be, after, what the national championship game, I think is January 8th, like that day, like then the NFL, the day after the Super Bowl, which would be the day after the end of the FCB championship game. Like that's when all the coaches are contracts are over. You're allowed to talk to other teams, your schools. Like you should have to finish with your school. And
dude, like Cedric was playing, like there's no reason for these guys to play in these bowl games. And like I do get it because you don't want to get hurt. With that, but god damn it, I hate it, dude. I hate it. Like Florida State has everybody bailing from their bowl game, and it's just like everyone's like transferring out and stuff. And like, dude, I don't get it. There's no guarantee you're going to make it to the NFL, and if you are, how long are you going to be there? Meanwhile, this is a bowl game that you and your boys all worked all year to get to, and you're just going to bail on the last minute?
That also, like, to me, like, I don't like the injury stance. Like, yeah, things can happen at any time. Like, I'm not
like, that. You can get injured during training.
Yeah, but to me, it's like, that's like one of your last chances to put on a good showing to increase your draft stock.
Yeah.
Outside of your pro day. And I mean, not for nothing, but if I'm a coach and you want to sit out your bowl game, like, what kind of feeling of commitment do I think you have with the team?
Apparently, it's not an issue because everybody does it.
No, I know, but I'm saying like if NFL coaches start putting more leverage on that,
they really should. It's crazy to me, dude. Because also it sucks for like the less good players on the team. Like now, whoever's on that Florida State team, they're gonna go get demolished by Georgia. And like, there's going to be some seniors on there who are not going to be going to the NFL, and this is their last college football game, and they're just going to get their asses kicked by Florida after being undefeated all year.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe they won't get their asses kicked, but I mean, it's not looking great. Anyway, it sucks. It's rough. And yeah, so then and the losing the coaches is just insane to me. Even if you're a coach, like, what is the point of that? Stay for and coach your team for one more game. Like, what?
I mean, again, it comes out to the I don't understand how they're not protected during this time period. Like, to me, your season is still happening.
It's crazy.
I don't get why schools can't put injunctions on that.
But that game came down to that without the right coaching, JMU was just not ready for that triple option, which apparently is really hard to stop.
Well, yeah.
So
it's not the NFL. In college, it's tough to fight the option for sure.
So Georgia State gets a rollover win over Utah State. That game wasn't close at really any point. Dan has some interesting information about the South Alabama East Michigan game. Sounds like it was a fun time, Dan.
Yeah, it was a blowout. It was like 59-10 over East Michigan, and they were doing their fight song. Like the band was playing the fight song after the game for South Alabama. And, the players stand there and recognize the song. Respecting the band.
Well, dude, all those guys. That's probably like their last game. A lot of those guys,
Yeah, and whether I couldn't, based off the angle of the video, I don't know if he came out of the tunnel, off the sideline, but an East Michigan player came running and just punched the dude in the back of one of the players on South Alabama in the back of the head. You see a few more East Michigan guys come out, and like a whole on, fight breaks out after this game. East Michigan was favored by 17.5, and to lose by 49, like that's a rough loss.
That's a rough loss.
But yeah, I'm curious to see what comes out of that. Obviously, suspensions and whatnot. But I mean, that's just an ugly look. That's just an ugly look.
It's weird. I wonder what it was about. But either way, not a good look, dude.
Look,
but anyway,
sometimes you get bad. Sometimes you get bad losses handed to you. It happens. And you just got to deal with it. We've both been on both sides of those, but. As we like to say, we played Appleton and beat them like 83 to 10.
It was crazy,
something like that.
Yeah,
and then
out of control.
We all went out on town with them for the night. So
yeah, you never. It is possible, absolutely. Me and Cedric were also wrong about Utah Northwestern. We had taken Utah, I believe, for that game, and they just couldn't score any points. It looks like Northwestern defense was just out there doing Northwestern defense stuff. Shout out to them. Coastal Carolina pulls off a win against San Jose State. I think Cedric said that San Jose State was going to dominate that one. I'm starting to wonder if the guy that even knows ball. Cedric, if you're out there listening to the show, we're questioning if you even know ball at this point.
Ced doesn't know ball.
He doesn't know ball. But to be fair, I did pick Coastal Carolina for that one, not just because of their cool jersey and their cool stadium, Dan. It's because I've been following them tightly, and I believe in them, as a team.
It's the much.
Yeah. Do they have? Yeah. Anyway, much like I believe in Coastal Carolina, we also believe in you guys, our fans and supporters of the show. So please continue to share this with your friends and colleagues, your people you don't like that much, your teammates, that one lady who waves to you every morning and be like, "Do you listen to Sports by Compian?" She'll be like, "What? Sports by Compian! Do you listen to it? Subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, follow us on Facebook." She'll be like, "Get away from me." But maybe she'll subscribe, and that's what we're looking for here, right, Daniel?
Yep.
Damn right. Anyway, we're out of here. We hope that you people have enjoyed your holiday. We'll be back with more episodes all the time. It's just